Which are the strongest destroyer gods? Is Beerus the strongest, or is he among the weakest? The anime gives us hints, but the manga, also written by Akira Toriyama, goes into more detail by gathering the main lines of Whis, Beerus, the gods themselves, as well as the actions of the Grand Priest and the impeccable battle of the 12 destroyer gods in the manga. This ranking emerged from the most irrelevant and featureless all the way to the terrifying elite gods. In 12th place, Ewan, the weakest destroyer god of all. Visually, he already does not look like a very powerful god, but as we go through the list, you will see that appearances are very deceiving. In all of his appearances in anime or manga, he has not had a single relevant feat. On the contrary, in basically every scene he appears in, he shows some form of fear, the complete opposite of other much more confident gods. In the battle of the 12 destroyer gods promoted by the Grand Priest in the manga, Ewan does not have even one successful battle interaction. He does not land a single hit, appears desperate several times, and you can clearly see that his martial arts ability is far below that of other gods. His true appearance under the hood sparks the curiosity of all Dragon Ball fans. Looking into the character, I found on the official Dragon Ball site that his appearance is described as similar to Shiva in Hinduism. Shiva is essentially a Hindu god, and he looks like this. Despite not being such a powerful god, he is simply one of the best destroyer gods. His universe, Universe 1, was exempt from the Tournament of Power for having a mortal level above 7. Remember that Universe 7, our universe, has only 3.18, less than half. He is very efficient and successful because his work caused his universe to have the highest mortal level of all. The official character description says that Ewan has strong passion, enthusiasm, and explosive feelings beneath his calm appearance. Despite not holding his own in power against other gods, he was the only destroyer god who did not suffer when the 9th universe was erased by Xeno, simply because he did not need to. An incredible curiosity about him is that Anato, his angel, is his master in martial arts. And researching this god and this angel, the information about the angel of Universe 1, Anato, leads me to believe he is one of the strong reasons behind the gigantic mortal level of this universe. After all, he is an angel who has the ability to sense absolutely everything that happens in the universe, something quite rare even among angels. In the manga, at some point Ewan participated in a hide-and-seek tournament among all the universes, Xeno's idea. But when Beerus hid himself and fell asleep for 50 years during the tournament, it had to be cancelled. He and the gods had to calm down. Xeno then became furious. Since then, Ewan and the other gods have felt contempt for Beerus, which continues to this day. He is summoned by the Grand Priest to Xeno's palace and is invited to participate in Xeno's exhibition tournament among the destroyer gods. Later, he appears relieved when the Grand Priest Daishinkan announces that his universe will not need to participate in the life or death tournament. After that, he returned to his universe to continue carrying out his duties as a god. In the anime, before the Tournament of Power began, Daishinkan asked them to test the arena because Xeno was bored. That scene does not count for much here. What counts more is the manga. This was probably Toei's idea. Their battle made a crater in the center of the arena, and a tower fell. He was then ordered along with Arak and Liquier by the Grand Priest to fix the stage before the fighters of the 8 universes arrived. He was quite impressed and surprised by Goku's power, and by how Goku reached Ultra Instinct for the 3rd time. He had previously assumed Goku's transformation was a temporary thing, although Anato speculated that Goku had truly achieved the form this time. Anato is the Supreme Kai of Universe 1. Ewan called Goku's 3rd transformation incredible. Later, he rises alongside his fellow gods to acknowledge Goku reaching the complete form of Ultra Instinct. In the Gods Exhibition Tournament, Ewan is knocked out by Quitella, who, as you may have already noticed, is stronger than him, and is one of the most interesting gods on the list. He is the rat god. Coincidentally, we also have a cat god, but we will get to that. In 11th place, Giin. Remember when I said appearances are deceiving? Giin is a god who does indeed look like one of the most powerful, but appeared exclusively to show fear, take hits, and look scared. His performance is quite similar to Ewan's. In his fights, he basically accomplishes nothing, but at least he throws a little attack here and there. Not even that much Ewan manages to do. Not that he lands those attacks either. He was trained by Martinu, the angel of Universe 12. It might seem like a coincidence, but the weakest gods coincidentally are the gods who were exempt from the Tournament of Power, and they are also the gods who were trained by out-of-shape angels, which suggests those angels do not fight much. In contrast to this, Giin is the only physically conditioned destroyer god. He is the only one with a muscular build, and to maintain the trend being established here, he is one of the gods with the fewest power feats. But he is also very competent. It was his universe that gave rise to time travel at the hands of mortals. That shows a very high level of planetary development. The official description says he carries out his work without mercy or discrimination. However, by doing his work so well, he gets bored because there is nothing left to destroy, so he craves the Tournament of Power. His universe would probably be very difficult to manage if it had participated. Giin seems very confident and proud of himself, smiling broadly when his universe is spared by the 2 Xenos. In response to the conversation among the gods of the 4 spared universes, he takes pride in being a great Hakaishin. In the manga, he is is not as confident as in the anime, since he was nervous about the possibility of being erased during Xeno's exhibition tournament. Beyond giving a sigh of relief upon discovering his universe is exempt from the Tournament of Power and from erasure, he is also intelligent enough to perceive the Grand Priest Daishinkan's intention when he suggested testing the arena for the Tournament of Power alongside Ewan, Liquier, and Arak, knowing in advance they would receive orders to rebuild it afterward, so he refused. He was visibly nervous at the erasure of Universe 9 and Universe 10. In the manga, he is also grateful to Cidra for protecting him from Beerus' explosion, and is visibly annoyed with Belmod when he blocked Cidra's attack from behind, expelling him right after saving them. He and Anato were the only deities from all the exempt universes who smiled upon hearing Android 17's wish to restore the erased universes, suggesting he values life in general. He is described as also having participated in the hide-and-seek game among the gods, and is one of those who is also against Beerus. In his universe, he is incredibly powerful. Just like Ewan, he is the strongest being in his universe, but that does not give him credibility here, and he was not one of the last gods standing. In 10th place, Arak, another exempt universe god. Exactly. Maybe Gohan is right. Maybe it really is better to work than to fight. His participation in the gods' battle is simply ridiculous. Several gods stood out, but Arak, Giin, and Ewan were definitely not among them. He basically just took hits and more hits, did nothing in the fight either, and the only thing he at least did was fire a lightning bolt, making an attack that neither Ewan nor Giin even demonstrated. Other gods made incredible feats in that fight, which you will see in this video, but putting that depressing part aside, yes, he is also a very competent god. He minutely investigates what should be destroyed. The official character description says he tries to expand the potential of his universe with minimal destruction, in contrast to other gods like Beerus, who instead destroys planets for petty reasons. While some other gods seem lazy, Arak shows himself to be a disciplined man, meditating regularly and continuing his training as a destroyer god. He also appears to value life in general, since he was also disturbed by the erasure of universes 9 and 10. He, like the other gods, watched the exhibition fight between Goku and Toppo. Daishinkan announced that his universe was one that would not participate in the tournament, since it also had a high mortal level. After the tournament, he immediately returned to continue his duties as a destroyer god. In the anime, in that fight he has against Ewan and Liquier, he participates in a sparring match but quickly questions the durability of the arena. Of course, the arena broke. Later, Arak is one of the gods who rises to acknowledge the newly discovered power of Goku in the Ultra Instinct form, and he is literally the last destroyer god who has no relevant feat in the battle of the 12 gods. Now things start to heat up, because in 9th place we have Helis. She is basically the destroyer goddess of Universe 2, the universe of Ribrian's team, and she considers herself the most beautiful being in all the universes. Someone tell her that on Earth there are a million just like her. She is basically the only goddess with a human appearance, and she is described in the anime as having extraordinary beauty. In the Arabic version, she is almost entirely censored. Even her arm is covered. She is described as someone who dislikes anything ugly. She also cares about life and existence, which means that just like Belmod, she does not tolerate any form of evil. She was shocked by her superior's decision to annihilate 8 universes, even calling the Tournament of Power horrendous. Visibly, despite her duties as a destroyer god, Helis appears to be quite benevolent, showing genuine compassion for her warriors, and showed extreme disgust at Frieza's savage fighting methods. She also demonstrates great confidence in the warriors of her universe, frequently boasting about their fighting prowess and fighting spirit. Unlike most destroyer gods, Helis does not reprimand the failures of her subordinates, and does not seem to have any emotional reaction when a member of her team loses. She has her own sense of self-indulgence, since she has several servants taking care of her. Beyond that, seeing herself as the most beautiful being in all the universes, she likes her servants to regularly acknowledge her as such. Despite the fact that she tends to destroy things she considers ugly, her universe still has the second highest mortal level among the 8 participants of the Tournament of Power, and 6th in the overall ranking, showing that her management of Universe 2 is at least quite good. Visibly, she is the only destroyer god who came to admire Goku, although it may simply be because she finds him very handsome and places all her value based on appearance. Beyond that, she is the only goddess who holds no grudge against Universe 7 for causing the tournament. She also later openly expressed that she considered Goku a threat to her universe and did not hesitate to order her remaining fighters to unite against the Saiyan. Very handsome, but he will die. Or will he? Helis is also flexible when the situation demands. For example, when her team was reduced to just 3 members, she told the remaining members to prioritize survival over appearances. After her team lost in the Tournament of Power, Helis gracefully accepted her fate, while she and the rest of Universe 2 were erased. After the winner of the Tournament of Power, Android 17, wished for all erased universes to return to existence, Helis was happy, and the Universe 2 team cried tears of joy when everyone welcomed them back as heroes to their home world. She is so extravagant about love and appearances with her subordinates that she makes them pose. She is a character that many people do not enjoy, unlike the previous gods. She is the first one to have some relevant feat, although although not that relevant. That is why she is only in 9th place. She hit Liquier with an arrow when he was caught off guard, and she is probably not higher on the list because she prioritizes beauty over strength. In 8th place, Cidra. This is simply the worst destroyer god. Apparently tending to overthink things, Cidra was indecisive and barely destroyed anything. Cidra is a very passive god. He also shows himself to be calmer and more benevolent than his counterpart, the Supreme Cairo, since he considers Basil's aggression against Boo something very harsh, which is not very common among the gods. Despite his pacifist nature, Cidra, like most other destroyers, came to dislike Goku, both because of the consequences of the Tournament of Power and because of Goku's casual attitude towards Xeno, which Cidra considers disrespectful. He also does not hesitate to judge mortals when he destroys them out of disgust for their behavior. When Frieza contacted him and Ro about joining Universe 9's team, Cidra did not object despite knowing what Frieza had done to his men. When his team began to be eliminated, Cidra never reprimanded them the way Quitella and Belmod did with their own teams. He only briefly warned Roselle for intentionally falling off the arena, and then went silent while the two Xenos erased everyone from Universe 9, leaving only Mojito the Angel behind. In the manga, Cidra is discussing how the planet they are on is a total failure, noting it should be destroyed before rechecking his calculations. He is informed of a call from the Grand Priest Daishinkan, but initially did not realize the importance of the call. At Xeno's palace, he is invited to participate in an exhibition match with the other destroyer gods. Beerus manages to pressure the other gods who are uniting against him. Beerus nearly destroyed Cidra, Belmod, and Giin, but Cidra managed to put up a barrier at the last second. When Cidra started boasting about how he is the fastest at creating shields, he was kicked off the stands by Belmod, who states that since the match is a free-for-all, there will be no teamwork among them. In the anime, Cidra, Mojito, Ro, and the Danger Trio encounter Universe 7's group at Xeno's palace before the fights begin. Cidra gets nervous about not being able to impress Xeno with his fighters, which could potentially result in them being destroyed right then and there. Cidra generally stays silent during Xeno's exhibition tournament, but is impressed by Bergamo for asking Xeno to spare the universes if he defeats Goku. When recruiting members for Universe 9's team, Cidra destroys an entire city in chaos after learning of the possibility of having his universe destroyed in the Tournament of Power, and also out of disgust for the savagery of mortals. After Quitella convinced him with a lie that Universe 7 was planning to kill him, he and Ro hired assassins to kill Goku and Frieza, so Universe 7 would be forced to forfeit. They even gave one of the assassins some of his energy. They discover their plan did not work, and that Frieza is planning to join them. Both deities of Universe 9 discuss the possibility of adding someone who does not care about the erasure of their own universe. Later, Cidra and the others arrive at the Null Realm and watch their subordinates fight. For most of the time, he stays silent, speaking only a little before being erased. He and his team, excluding Mojito the Angel, were the first to be erased. Later, like everyone else, he was revived by 17. In the manga, his greatest feat was really making a barrier and protecting them from Beerus' attack. Belmod, the god of Universe 11, knocked him down easily despite catching him off guard. During the fight, we also saw him have a battle against Champa, where he ends up at a disadvantage. In 7th place, Liquier. To close out the list of exempt universe gods, he is already a god with a bit more power, probably because he is a bit more hot-headed and more interested in combat, and he is the only god who has a transformation. Exactly, he is also an excellent destroyer god and takes great pride in that. This can be proven by one of his most memorable lines. I am always happy to show the Xenos how right they were to exempt us from the tournament, since our group is far superior to those universes forced to fight for their survival. Liquier's life goal is to eliminate all the flaws in his Supreme Kai's plans, and he strictly destroys anyone who lowers the mortal level of his universe. For those who did not quite follow, basically the Supreme Kais create the planets. If the gods do not like the result, they simply go there and say Hakai. Despite his rough appearance, Liquier is quite jovial. He shows himself to be proud of his strength and power, boasting about the superiority of his universe over Ewan's and wanting a friendly match in the arena. Liquier also respects love, as he was in favor of Helis' power of love. Furthermore, while confident in his universe's superiority, he was visibly stunned like many other gods when Universe 9 was erased, showing he has a certain degree of respect for life. He also participates in the exhibition fight of the 12 gods together. During the tournament, he watched Universes 9 and 10 get erased by Xeno, left in a state of shock. While Liquier was watching the battle between Goku and Raban, he mentioned that although he expected Universe 6 or 7 to win, he was rooting for Universe 2. Later, when Goku awakened the complete form of Ultra Instinct, Liquier was one of the gods who also rose to acknowledge Goku. His participation in the gods' battle was quite interesting. He showed he has real firepower, and he can also achieve a 9-tailed transformation. Exactly, a 9-tailed fox. In his original form, he only has 3 tails. He also managed to blind some gods with the reflection of his attack. However, he proved incapable of dealing any damage to Belmod. Beyond that, he was hit by Helis' arrow. Later, he was squeezed by Moscow and was unable to free himself from his grip. In 6th place, we have Moscow. Basically, he was the first god to be knocked out, but before that, that, he simply created an incredible mess in the arena. This character is a curious one. He is a parasitic creature with Mule, the pilot of the Moscow robot. The pilot's name is Mule. He serves as the destroyer god of Universe 3. The official description of this character says he is a god whose intelligence surpasses that of humanity. Inside his Moscow robot, he uses beeping sounds for communication. As Moscow, he generally appears very silent inside his suit, having no verbal dialogue with any of the other characters he interacts with. However, when he communicates from inside his suit, he emits 8-bit tone signals with his robot's optical eye flashing brightly. For most of the time, he relies on his angel assistant Campari to translate what he is saying, as can be seen in his brief conversations with his Supreme Kai. He does not appear to hold a grudge against Universe 7 either, unlike most gods. He even asked Beerus why he had not been invited to the Destroyer Gods Summit before the Tournament of Power, just as the Supreme Kai of his twin universe asked why Shin had not invited the Supreme Kai. This does not apply in the manga, where he dislikes Beerus like all the other gods, due to an incident from many years ago during the hide-and-seek game. At the announcement of the Tournament of Power, Moscow shows great indignation, where the robot complains they do not have enough time to gather sufficient fighters. Like most other Destroyer gods, Mule has low tolerance for failure, as he is visibly upset with Catra, that Power Ranger who incredibly tripped out of the arena. Despite his displeasure, unlike Quitella and Belmod, he did not threaten any of the team members. Not much is known about his true personality. However, he was apparently the only Destroyer god willing to openly express disdain for Xeno's deadline in the tournament. Brave. He also remained calm when Narika attacked him. Before being erased, he revealed his true form and warmly thanked his angel assistant for the continued support, showing he had a great deal of respect for Campari, the name of Universe 3's angel. Basically, the gods and angels are inspired by the names of drinks. This one here is the most obvious. In the manga, when Mule complains about the short deadline, the angel even goes as far as lying to defend him, something completely unlike what angels normally do. During the exhibition match he was forced to participate in, Moscow managed to catch Beerus off guard and grab him. However, Beerus managed to force his way out and dodge the other Destroyer gods, who ended up hitting him directly due to Beerus's feint. When Champa called a meeting with the other Destroyer gods, Campari translated for Moscow and asked why Champa had not invited Beerus of Universe 7. Moscow is later seen giving his approval to Nigrisi upon witnessing Narika power. He feels confident that his universe will be the winner of the Tournament of Power. Moscow watches as Narika super survival mode takes down several fighters until being interrupted by the combined efforts of Hit and Basil. When Universe 3's team failed, Moscow was erased along with the rest. In an emotional scene, he thanks the Angel Campari for his support before being erased with the rest of his team. Of course, he was also revived by Android 17. His participation in the battle is really very interesting. During the exhibition fight among the 12 gods, he was shown capable of sneaking up behind Beerus and capturing him. Beerus did manage to escape, but with notable effort. After taking the combined hit of 2 Destroyer gods due to Beerus's trap, he managed to get back up and resume the fight. He fought and had the advantage against Helis and Liquier at the same time, squeezing Liquier with one hand while attacking Helis with his eye laser. A major question among fans is about his power outside of Moscow. In other words, how strong is Mule outside of his robot? It is known he has enough reflexes to pilot Moscow in battle against other Destroyer gods, so he should not be underestimated. One thing that sets him apart from the other gods is his genius intellect. He was simply capable of building the Moscow robot, which can fight against Destroyer gods. In 5th place, we have Champa. He is the Destroyer god of Universe 6, the rival twin brother of Beerus, and the main antagonist of the Universe 6 saga. Just like his brother, Champa is very confident in his abilities and is quite indifferent to the deaths of other people. At the same time, Champa shows himself to be even lazier than Beerus, often asking Vados to take care of matters he, as a Hakaishin, should handle himself. He also showed himself to be deceitful and cares little about rules or order, which is noticeable when he invaded Universe 7 to collect his portion of the Dragon Ball set. On top of that, he added various modifications to the Tournament of Destroyers to support his fighters. Champa tends to behave in a less dignified manner compared to Beerus, since he tends to avoid answering questions that incriminate or embarrass him. Unlike Beerus, Champa has not been seen behaving in a very polite or sophisticated way, further exemplifying his lack of emotional maturity. Champa also takes his rivalry with Beerus much more seriously, and even with the imminent threat of being erased if he loses the Tournament of Power, Champa's main objective was to humiliate Beerus. Every Goku has his Vegeta. He is also very selfish. Upon learning that the Earth of Universe 7 provides Beerus such wonderful food, Champa immediately expressed his desire to obtain the planet for himself. Like most Hakaishin and Supreme Kais, Champa also has low tolerance for failure. He is a terrible loser, throwing childish tantrums and making unfounded accusations in hopes of getting what he wants. He also demonstrates a strong taste for sweets, especially in his drinks, which seems to be the main reason he is out of shape. Champa is also a bit less intelligent compared to his brother, since he cannot perceive that Goku and Vegeta were moving slowly due to the heavy training gear they were wearing, causing him to underestimate their strength. Like the other Destroyers, destroyers, Champa shows himself to be very respectful towards Zeno, despite his pettiness. Champa, however, appears capable of possessing genuine respect and admiration in certain cases. After Hit was eliminated by Jiren, instead of getting angry as he normally would, Champa proudly supported Hit and stated that defeats alone would not be in vain, and he is right in my opinion. Hit fought incredibly well. Comment below your opinion. Even when Kaba was defeated by Frieza, Champa was only upset about Frieza's cruelty and showed how much he hated him. Although he was willing to hire Frost, Champa showed antipathy for the latter's evil nature and felt no obligation to help if he failed. While he and Beerus argue a lot, since he was about to be erased, Champa said goodbye to his brother, even if in a somewhat joking way. It is implied that Champa at least has some attachment to his brother. Beyond that, at the moment he was revived with the Super Dragon Balls. Despite not knowing which universe was responsible for the wish, he assumed it was Beerus's, demonstrating his trust in his own brother. In the same way, Champa's ego and emotional outbursts overshadowed his ability to calmly evaluate situations and form strategies to deal with them. For example, after realizing his universe could not win by knocking everyone out, he ordered his team to avoid unnecessary conflicts and only engage Universe 7 to reduce their numbers so Universe 6 could win by having the most remaining fighters at the end of the tournament. He is always shown and portrayed as a very powerful destroyer god, but in the anime it was also revealed that his excess weight gives him low stamina, being unable to move for long periods of time without becoming exhausted. Although Vado states it is clear he is the more powerful of the brothers, Champa showed on several occasions that he can give Beerus a significant challenge. As seen when he and Beerus were arguing about baseball rules and fought hand to hand, this implies that in terms of stamina, Beerus is superior to Champa. This was shown after a long rock-paper-scissors battle where Champa's hand became very painful while Beerus's remained unaffected. During the exhibition tournament fight in the manga, Champa reveals he has not trained in decades. Despite that, he shows an advantage in his fight against Cidra. Near the end of the match, he was one of the destroyer gods defeated, since only two remained standing. Even so, he managed to demonstrate great feats. In fourth place, Ramush. This destroyer god is simply insane, and in this top 4, we finally reach the elite gods, those with the most feats and the most power among all of them. The elephant god is a relatively lazy god who enjoys being praised. He does not like destroying planets because he finds it too painful. Like most other gods, Ramush immediately disliked Goku because of the consequences of the Tournament of Power, as well as Goku's casual attitude towards Zeno, which Ramush considers disrespectful. He apparently does not realize that this same disrespectful Saiyan also indirectly helped save him from death at the hands of Zamasu when Zamasu was about to assassinate Gowas, since the Life Pack creates a link between the Destroyer God and the Supreme Kai, and other universes do not have multiple Supreme Kais like Universe 7, probably due to the production's laziness. He believes strength was the key to winning the Tournament of Power, as he told Gowas to think with the body instead of the brain. He also recruited members who relied too much on brute force. Despite his ego and approval of Muten's overly enthusiastic nature, Ramush also shows himself capable of being mature and serious, as he recognized Gowas' overthinking as his main flaw. Although he is not as mature as Gowas himself, he presents some similarities in that he sees muscles and raw power as a way to win a fight. In the manga, his relationship with Gowas is a bit tense due to recent events. He shows frustration upon discovering the danger Gowas put the universe in by attempting on the life of his counterpart. In addition, of course, he saw that Beerus was the one who resolved it, so he did not hesitate to threaten the life of his Supreme Kai, even though the two share a linked lifespan. Like most gods, he also has very low tolerance for failure. He was very upset when Rillibu was expelled from the arena, since he did not even think about using his wings. He was also seen comically hitting Diem and Dirasem head first when both were knocked out. Ramush ultimately accepted his fate and closed his eyes after all the members of Universe 10 lost and were erased from existence. His power feats are truly incredible, and this is where things start to get intense. During the God's exhibition battle in the manga, he was capable of knocking out everyone in the area who had a level below a Supreme Kai with just a shout. He also stunned all the destroyer gods at the same time and dealt strong damage to 4 of them simultaneously. Beyond that, he was also one of the last 4 to be knocked out, which gives him credibility as the 4th most powerful. In third place, we have Belmod, probably the destroyer god with the most fascinating participation in the god's battle. Belmod does not forgive evil and does not accept it, being described as a peaceful god, marking a touch of irony for being a destroyer god. He is very pleased with the brave efforts of the Pride Troopers and their work. Justice makes his heart race. In contrast to the relationships shown between most destroyer gods and their respective Supreme Kais, Belmod appears to have a civil and cordial relationship with Kai, the Supreme Kai of Universe 11. Instead of being rude or acting superior to his counterpart, Belmod tends to listen to him and is willing to discuss decisions. However, he is still indulgent, as he likes being pampered by several women who appear like court jesters. He found them on a planet he was about to destroy. When one of them threatened Margarita, threatening an angel with a knife, she was destroyed by Belmod because she crossed the line he tolerates. Unlike Beerus and Champa, who revel in their their position as gods, Belmod is more humble about it. He proactively selected a potential successor for his universe in Topo, even allowing him to observe some events exclusive to deities. This humility extends at least partially to his strength. While Beerus gets upset at any suggestion that he could be surpassed by anyone other than Whis, Belmod seems comfortable with the fact that Giin is stronger than him. I will comment on the power level of Goku and Vegeta in relation to these gods soon. Stay until the end of the video, because leaving early will significantly hurt your understanding. And also, if you have watched this far, it is because you are interested, so it will certainly help you a great deal. He gets furious when Android 17 questioned Jiren's wish and behavior, shouting that such judgment of Giin should only come from those who know him, but not even common for a destroyer god. Belmod is more inclined to listen to his angel assistant Margarita. This is probably part of the reason why the mortal level of Universe 11 is the highest among the participants of the Tournament of Power. Because of this, both Belmod and Kai the Supreme Kai are much more confident in their team, the Pride Troopers, and less concerned about erasure than the gods of other universes. When reduced to just 3 fighters, Belmod calmly stated that as long as the quality of his warriors was greater than the quantity of fighters from other universes. And when Dispo was eliminated, leaving Universe 11 with only 2 members, Belmod barely reacted. His calm behavior finally broke when Toppo was eliminated from the tournament, and he expressed absolute shock and frustration, especially when Giin was being put in a difficult situation or appeared to be taking damage. After his universe had lost, although shocked by the imminent death, he soon calmed down and accepted his fate. In the manga, it is revealed that Belmod was once a member of the Pride Troopers and was a friend of Jiren's mentor Giin. That is why Giin had Belmod's approval to resurrect his master as his wish. In the anime, he was confirmed by Whis as being stronger than Beerus, although Beerus swears that Belmod only beat him at arm wrestling. This scene here I basically do not count because they changed the character from the manga. The one who arm wrestles Beerus in the manga is a different character, and the manga is a much purer material made by Akira Toriyama without much interference from Toei, so this part counts for very little, and Beerus disagrees anyway. In the manga, during the exhibition tournament, Goku and Giin believed that Belmod and the other gods would have been defeated or possibly killed if they were hit by the destruction sphere. Of course, the one who threw the sphere was Beerus, and then Belmod's show begins. He proved capable of easily kicking Cidra down, though catching him off guard. Beyond that, he was capable of damaging all the destroyer gods by capturing them in balls and imprisoning and attacking them with energy cards. When he is attacked by the energy from Liquier's tail, he takes no damage. And when the match comes to its end, it is revealed that Belmod had been pretending to have been knocked down and actually suffered no damage during the match. In the anime, they try to portray Jiren's power more. In the manga, Toppo only says that in terms of combat skills, Giin surpasses Belmod, but that is fine. In terms of combat skills, Master Roshi probably surpasses Broly, but that does not mean Master Roshi is stronger than Broly, even though there is some truth to it. There are also other lines that indicate Giin is stronger. Now we have finally reached the cat and mouse showdown. In second place, we have Quitella. Just like Beerus, Quitella is somewhat lazy. However, while Beerus carries out his duties even if recklessly and randomly, Quitella prefers to play video games and eat fast food. He is a vain and manipulative god who is willing to use questionable means, that is if he can get to the top of the competition. Beyond having statues of his image throughout his room, his rivalry with Beerus is greater than Champa's, since he appears to have a strong hatred for the Universe 7 Destroyer god and frequently conspires against him, devising various schemes to stop or completely eliminate him. Before the Tournament of Power, he is quite intelligent and cunning, convincing Cidra to use assassins to eliminate Frieza while setting them up to take the blame. He also appears to have good relations with the Supreme Kai of his universe, Kuru. Unlike most other deities who were stunned by the erasure of Universe 9 by the Xenos, Quitella was not bothered and enjoyed himself greatly, showing he has no compassion for others. When Quitella was about to be erased, he acted hysterically and refused this fact, swearing to take the others with him before disappearing. However, after all the erased universes were restored by 17's wish, Quitella appears to be calmly looking in the same direction as his subordinates, showing that his threat beforehand was purely out of fear in that moment. Notably in the manga, Quitella was strong enough to defeat Beerus at arm wrestling. Exactly. In the manga, they replaced Belmod with Quitella, which makes much more sense. They probably mixed up Akira Toriyama's ideas when making the anime, but Beerus' greatest rival is Quitella. Akira Toriyama's intention was to create a little cat and mouse game. Beerus said he would not lose to him in hand-to-hand combat. During the Xeno exhibition match, the Battle of the 12 Gods, Quitella defeats Ewan in direct combat. He, Beerus, and Belmod proved to be the last 3 active destroyer gods. However, before Quitella's and Beerus' final punches can connect with each other, the Grand Priest interrupts the fight, and he does this with remarkable ease. The 2 strongest gods in a combined attack stopped with just 1 finger. The Grand Priest is sinister. In first place, we have Beerus, and you already expected that, right everyone? He of course needs no introduction. During the battle against all the destroyer gods, Beerus showed an advantage over his colleagues who attacked him together. Despite being completely on the defensive defensive against the group's attack, Beerus dodged with skill and calm, using an automatic reaction technique very similar to Ultra Instinct, probably an early stage of that technique. While momentarily captured by the enormous Moscow, with some effort, Beerus managed to get out. His speed proved great enough to deceive his enemies, slipping out of sight and launching Champa into the air as a distraction. Of course, Champa looks like him, trolling all the gods with a brilliant strategy. As soon as he grabbed Arak, Champa, Cidra, Belmod, and Giin together, he launched an energy ball that was countered by Cidra's barrier. Goku and Giin believed that if not for Cidra's defense, he certainly would have defeated, if not killed, the 5 gods. Beerus defeats Quitella in combat. He, Quitella, and secretly Belmod proved to be the last 3 active destroyer gods. However, before Beerus's and Quitella's final strikes could connect with each other, the Grand Priest interrupts the fight. Here, Akira Toriyama, the author of Dragon Ball, also noted that Beerus could destroy the Supreme Kai realm, which is about a 10th of the size of Universe 7. For all his feats, he could not be in any other position. Now let me explain to you in more detail the basis of this list quickly, so there is no room for doubt. The list was made, as I said at the beginning, based on the manga's dialogue. Every conversation that mentions the gods, Akira Toriyama's own statements, the battles that the Hakaishin participate in, especially the battle of the 12 gods in the exhibition tournament, and mainly their feats. Some character could vary on this list, yes, but if the list fluctuates, it will be more in the middle. Beerus and Quitella are without a doubt the most powerful. And as for Goku and Vegeta, if the third place is Belmod, and Goku and Vegeta have surpassed Jiren, currently in the manga they would be stronger than Belmod. This is not absurd. It is not absurd for a god to be surpassed by a mortal. Actually, the gods were mortals before they became gods. They were candidates and became gods. Absolutely normal. It would be strange if they had surpassed the angels. Those are truly on another level. Well everyone, I gave my absolute best to bring this video to you. This video must have required around 10 audio tracks and a very detailed edit. I will still be reading your comments. I am dedicating myself greatly here on the channel, and I only need your support with a like, a subscription, and if you have a friend who enjoys Dragon Ball and can share this video, it will certainly be a very informative one. I also made a video of the top 20 strongest in Universe 7, and you can check it out by clicking here. It is just as good as this one, and is actually one of the biggest viral hits on the channel. I am immensely grateful for your support, and that is basically it everyone. Thank you very much for your support. I will see you in the next one.